Hey guys, good morning. How's it going? Welcome back to Szpakowo and the My Life in Poland series. It's been a little while. It's been a long while, actually. Got sidetracked with all kinds of stuff, including a cold where I had no voice, and work got busy, and play got busy, and that left very little time for this. I mentioned in the last one tile challenge that episode that I posted that this obviously takes a little more thinking at times because we're trying to adhere to a bit of a story, and a playthrough like New Frontier or the one tile challenge. They don't necessarily require the same level of thinking when you start playing. So it's meant that I haven't been able to do much here because I just have not had the brain capacity. Be it having had a cold or just literally just being super busy. But we are back. I got a lot of stuff done from when I saw you last. I've been busy with local contractors. Anyways, I've had everybody working, so I'm going to show you as soon as we get this done. As usual, we've got a little early morning work here for our friend David. We got 3 more bales after this one, and then we're done. And then we'll go show you. I've had contractors working on basically all of our properties. And they've got a ton of stuff done, which I think you'll like what you see. Plus, we have a couple of tough decisions to make today with all of that contractor stuff that we've got to pay these guys to do the work. Obviously, we're down to $6,500 now. Normally, that wouldn't necessarily matter, but we do have a very nice old farmer back in Great Britain named Walter, who loaned us the money to start this farm. And we owe him a minimum 10% of the remaining balance every month going forward. So I believe the payment for this month is going to be $13,500. We owe him I think we still have $135,000 owing. So we gotta pay him. Otherwise, he's been a nice old farmer and great mentor and a lot of help, but I'm afraid if I get on his bad side, we may find out that he's a little bit more of a thug than we would have thought. So, anyways, well, we will get this last bale wrapped and then head back to our yard. So, one of the tough decisions that we need to make is, probably the only real tough decision. I have a substantial amount of wood chips now stored in multiple silos. While I would love to be able to hang on to all of those wood chips until the proper time to sell, which is I think January, if I remember correctly, when it comes to wood chips, I need money. So I think we're going to end up having to undersell the wood chips in order to make sure that we have money to make some payments. So anyways, let's get back to the main yard, and then we'll take a look at what the reality is for wood chips, and then I think we'll also take a quick look at the real estate market. Why is my door open now? We'll take a quick look at the real estate market and see what the reality is there for us. I don't know that we're going to be able to afford to buy any property, even if a nice piece of land came up, because we just have we're just fairly committed. We have a pretty decent land portfolio right now, but we don't have any sort of instant income generators that we can lean on. Anyways, whatever. All right, so if you recall, because it has been so long since we've been here, we are up this laneway to our little machine yard, of which I think you're going to like the changes. There's been quite a few. So starting with the little fuel tank that we have there, I bought 500 liters and put in that little tank with a little light. So that there is a security lock on the fill thing there, so nobody can just come and take the fuel. But I bought the tank old anyways. It was a refurbished one inside. They didn't do paint the outside or anything, but it's like somebody let their kid draw on it. But anyways, it looks cool enough for me, so that's there. We got fuel when we need it. I took out so I sold whatever was in the silo that we had here. I've taken that out, and it has been moved to our other yard. I'll show you. And then I had this drive-through covering put in. As you can see, I tend to lean towards these kind of sheds anyways when it comes to my yards. I think I'm using that exact same one over on the one tile challenge. But I wanted to get some additional roof over machinery, so that is what we've done there. We do have a little bit of an open area here. I wasn't able to find anything that really fit well there. I don't really know what I'm going to do here. I think though, if I go, well, I still haven't taken out the shed at our first yard, like where our house is, to put in a garden. And if you remember, there's not only a shed there, but we also have like a little workshop station. So when that little workshop station and the shed comes out, maybe I can put something in over here where we can work on our vehicles and whatever. So anyways, yeah, so this is the covering now. We can really be organized. And then I figured with the amount of like bulk stuff that we end up buying here, I could have like a little separate covering for that. I did not move all of the liquid fertilizer over yet, but anyways, hopefully you like that. And if you don't, well, you know what? That's too bad. All right, so let's go for a quick drive here. I think, though, we should let's grab this trailer, because I think we're going to need to sell some wood chips in order to pay our buddy there. So let's go for a drive. I love this trailer. I was so disappointed when I figured out that it wasn't really going to work with the wood chipper the way I wanted, but we do have it to be able to go and transport things. So this is cool. So okay, so big work over here. So we had the buildings removed, so those have all been taken out, and a lot of trees taken down. So this land is ready to basically work. What I'm going to end up doing here is cutting up the entire piece of land into one field, and we will plant a crop there, because remember, we are cash crop farmers. So I will be putting something in here. I did expand, well, I didn't expand anything, but I did clear out a number of trees up to the riverbank over here. So when we're ready, we'll be able to cut the field all the way down here. Well, at least it's where it's as smooth as doable, where it's doable anyway. So this will be a good sized field for us. But we're gonna let the grass. So the grass is like early stages here. Yeah, 2 of 4. So we got a little bit of time before the grass is going to be ready to cut. I'd like to at least be able to cut that before we do anything. Over here is our canola field, so we're not grown yet. And then we also have 2. So here's where I moved the silo from our other yard. I moved over here, and then we have. And then I have another silo. So I believe, so here's what we have right now for wood chips. So if you have a look here, we have $288,000 worth of wood chips. We have 288,000 liters, and that's split over 3 silos. So the 2 silos that I just showed you have a number of wood chips. I can't remember how many, but we'll find out in a second. And then we have the silo in our other far lot. It also has some wood chips in it. So we're going to need to generate some cash. Now, there's the problem, right? Our wood chips at top value are worth $155,000, but currently they're worth $90,000. You know, perhaps we can get away with not selling all of them right now, unless maybe we see the real estate market comes up and there's a lot that's going to be advantageous for us. Then perhaps we can do something. But I think I'm going to grab a load of wood chips right now, and we'll take it through the sell point on our way to the other lot, and we can just go double check to make sure that I didn't make any more changes there. I'm actually certain that I didn't make any more changes there, but we'll see. Okay, so let's see what's in this one. Yeah, so we have a full 100,000 liters of wood chips in this one. So let's take these 12,000 liters of wood chips. We'll have to put in a field here once the grass is ready. The canola field is fine. We just basically let it grow until we can harvest it. We've got the 2 new silos I showed you. I showed you the machine yard with the new coverings. Let's go hit the sell station to unload these. It's our old buddy Derek with the bale and wood chips. But yeah, it's good to be back here, folks. I do really enjoy playing on this map, and I really enjoy trying to adhere to a bit of a story. And we haven't had that, obviously, on the New Frontier. There's no story, really. we just go to town and do our thing. Oh, I should have turned back there. Yeah, okay. So I also haven't driven around here for a while, so I probably should have turned back there and gone up past the store. Anyways, all good. This is not too much more of a drive. Maybe while we're over here, we'll just kind of cut in here and look at our yard. So I did take a couple. I think we've done this already. I think I showed you all this. I got to be more careful now because there's crops growing everywhere. But yeah, we can kind of sneak in through here. I will make this a little bit better. Maybe put in a bit of a laneway. I'll work with the neighbors and see if they're cool with it, anyways. But yeah, so I think I showed you this, but you know what? It's been a while since we've uploaded anything on this series. So quick reminder, once this grass is ready to mow, we're going to do that, and then we're going to expand this field. So we'll take the area down here, and then we'll also have this grass field. I will put something in here. I don't know what. I'm really not sure what yet. And then if you look, we pretty much have the radioactive pond here, and then we have that little area on the other side there. I hadn't really considered what I may or may not put over here. If the town would let me put in like maybe a couple of greenhouses or something, this might be a good place for that. I can't see that I'm going to expand the field all the way around this corner, but we may do that also. I don't know. I'm on the fence, but I've got like basically a month to figure that out, I think, because the grass is in stage 3 of 4. So my guess is that by May we'll be cutting that. These guys never stop here. I almost think that maybe they're running some tests. Maybe that pole back there is not necessarily connected to the main power grid. Maybe it's something they just run tests because those guys kind of look like engineers. So maybe they're just testing new materials or something. I don't know. They're always there though. Always there. And it doesn't matter what the weather is. They're there in the rain, snow, whatever, sun. All right, while we're unloading these, I'm going to get on the phone to David and get our money collected. All right, there we go. We got our $3,900 for the baling contract we did earlier, and we have, almost $4,000 or whatever, $3,800 for the wood chips. Man, it's painful selling this stuff at the current cost. So we now have enough money to pay Walter, so let's go do that right away before I get a phone call. All right, so we owe him $135,000, of which we want to get that down to $121,500. Well, actually, I guess there's a bit of a flaw in the process because I can only pay $5,000 increments. Oh, that was dumb. Actually, I guess I could go into the game XML and reduce my money and change it that way. You know what I'll do rather than doing that? I'm gonna let me pay him. I'll pay him $10,000 right now. I'll just pay him another $5,000 later on in the day. I'll send him a text message, just let him know I'm just trying to come up with the other $5,000. So it's going to be a little. I'll pay him a little more than the 10%. We'll just pay him $15,000. And anyways, it gets our total down. But yeah, because I can't pick how much I'm paying this way. While we're online, let's just take a quick look on Lek and Maria's site here to see if there's anything interesting. We don't need anything. Well, we will need a harvester. Man, there's a Volvo that I would trade our current Volvo for. Actually, if I could put loader arms on this, then I would trade the Landini. Oh man, I like this tractor quite a bit. We're not looking for a $180,000 harvester. I'm not buying any more bales. We have a header already. There's a what looks like our sprayer. All right, yeah, I'm not. There's lots of interesting things here, but I'm not seeing anything I need. That's the one thing about this series, which I like. We have this extreme used inventory mod. Oh, look at this. $75,000 though. I mean, we're looking. Sorry, I was jumping around there, but we're looking. We're not. I can get a harvester for a lot less than that. But yeah, having the extreme used inventory mod on, I missed that on the One Tile Challenge. All right, well, I guess what I should do is get one more load of wood chips for now. Let's go check our yard down here and see how many we have. I think we probably maybe this is the 80,000 liter silo down here on our far lot. So we'll get one load of wood chips, get that sold, and then we'll hop in the real estate market after we pay Walter and see what's going on for the month of April and what opportunities there may be. My guess is that we're not going to be buying anything in the month of April, but I've been wrong before. I had somebody ask me about if I had a mod on that showed, because I think what they were getting at is when you look at the tires here on this road, you can look at it two different ways, because you do see the tires. On one hand, you can sort of see the tires sinking into the road texture, which I just think there's something with these roads in the map. And on the other hand, you can see it as maybe the tire pressure is really low and the tires themselves are just squishing. But no, I think it's the map, not my tires. I don't have a special mod on that makes tires look like they're deflated. All right, we have 100,000 liters here. So as we go forward into the summer, wood chips become worth less and less money. So if we're going to be selling any of them, we should really be selling them now in order to generate some cash versus waiting till June, because then they're going to be worth even less. If we don't sell them now, we really got to try to hold on to them until the winter time. All right, so that is another load sold for $3,800 or whatever. So now let's go pay Walter the last little bit, and then we'll hit up the real estate market. All right, let's start here by figuring out whether we're in an up or down market. Tails is a down market. Okay, that is good news. All right, next let's figure out whether we're going to be able to buy 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 pieces of property. And you can't make this stuff up. We're rolling for 5. All right, so the first one is 239, 231, 82, 108. All right, and for the last potential piece of land, number 2. All right, so the first piece of land is right down here, and it is massive. This is a $425,000 field that currently has a, what is it, grass field? Oh no, sorry, that's saying it's a cornfield. Okay, so I don't have $500,000 for a piece of land, so we're gonna just not purchase that one. I will note also that I have precision farming activated now, so we'll get into that afterwards. But anyway, so that's 239. We'll scratch that off the list. 231 is right down here at the bottom. This actually would be a nice little investment piece of land here. It's all forest. At $82,000, I imagine I would have to look, but if my memory serves me correctly, this is a dense forest, so we should likely be able to make all the money back in wood chips. So while not a strong consideration because we only have $3,000 right now, that could be a consideration. All right, so field 82 is over here near Millionaires Row, which we've dubbed this area. It's right here on the corner at $21,500. That's a pretty reasonable price. We'd have to go check that lot out, I think, because it is in our key area. I mean, the only real issue with this piece of land here is that it has potatoes growing in it, of which I have no real desire to farm potatoes. I guess, I don't know. I honestly, I don't even know what equipment I need. I don't know anything about potatoes. I don't know what it would take to harvest them. Maybe there's an inexpensive harvester that we could purchase to pull the potatoes out of that yard. I don't know. That does not sound very fun, but maybe it's easier than I think. Maybe it's time to embrace my fears. So we'll go look at that piece of land. All right, I think we've driven through these crops many a time. I don't have $262,000 to purchase this piece of land. There's our home lot right there. That's where our house is. This is a big field. I swear we've destroyed crops along here, but that's too much money. That's $262,000. We're in no way ready to purchase a piece of land like that. And then lastly, in the top corner over here, I don't think we've even been over here, to be honest with you. Oh, lime station. Well, let's go check that out. Somebody did mention that, and I didn't know where that was. But anyways, okay. So there's field 2. 2 is almost $200,000. That's a lot of money. Also, looks like soybeans. But yeah, that's not in our realm of purchase right now at $200,000. So really, out of all of the land that we just spun for, there's a woods lot, which we could go take a quick look at here. Like, could I generate enough money to buy it and then basically spend some time just clear cutting it? Well, I guess we have to get approval for that first. And then I can't remember if I have the means to plant trees yet or not. Did we get a planter? I don't think we did. Well, you know what? I'm not going to go check that piece of land out because I just don't think, unless for some reason we find a bunch of cash later, then we'll go check it out. But yeah, I don't see that being something that we're gonna go after. Let's go look at the piece of land that's near Millionaire's Row, and at least we can kind of gauge that. And then we got to figure out what to do here because we're in April. We don't really have any pressing matters to attend to as far as our crops are concerned. I will show you what our precision farming reality is because I have gone ahead and worked with one of the local surveyors. They've come out and taken some soil samples. And we got the results back, so I'll show you what they were able to come up with. The nice thing about our land is we don't have the biggest field, so none of it was very expensive. The samples, like it was the minimal amount of samples they had to take in order to tell us what was going on. All right, so here is the piece of land that's $21,000. This is a great location for us because I mean our yard is right down there. The only concern though are these potatoes. And it's a concern of my own, maybe not the rest of the world. I mean, I look at somebody like our friend Crustu, and he's a root crop maniac. The guy's always doing root crops. He's got it down to a science and seems to enjoy it. I've always avoided it, so maybe what I need to do is go back and lean on him a little bit to figure out what his opinion is when it comes to stuff like this, because this just makes me feel a little bit ill. There's a little bit of a field expansion possibility right here. We could take this scrub out, extend the field a little bit. Yeah, you know what I'll do? Let's have a quick chat with Lek and Maria. Let's see what the potato harvesting reality is, and then we'll know maybe what upside there is for that field. If we thought we could pick up something to harvest the potatoes that was super cheap, then maybe it does make sense. I mean, obviously we don't have to buy it yet because the potatoes wouldn't be ready to harvest for a few more months anyways. But if we knew that it was a small investment to get something that would allow us to take the potatoes out of the field, then we could potentially look at that. And then I guess it would mean we would have that harvesting ability for future contracts too, right? So I'm gonna go in and maybe see if they got the coffee going, have a quick chat, and yeah, I'll be back out. Let's just leave the hazards on here so people know that we'll be right out. All right, so I don't know. It turns out that there really are no affordable options for potatoes. Am I right in saying that? Why do I think that I've seen people use stuff that's not very expensive? Because I mean, according to Lek there, he's got harvesters, but they're in the like hundreds of thousands of dollars, which doesn't seem to make sense. I swear I've seen people harvest or at least farm with less, like with low expense stuff. So anyways, I may have to do so he's going to do a little bit of digging to see if maybe some of the headers that he has are, if you can use them for stuff like that. So I guess really what I'm thinking is that if I do want to purchase that field, we're purchasing it with the intention of plowing it up just to have this field, and then we'll plant whatever we want in there. I'm not going to worry about the fact there's potatoes in there. I don't think it'll become something we just look at planting whatever we want in there. So that's fine. That's fine. If you have any potato advice, then hit me up. We got grass regrowing in there. No, they're only 34%. I should get them off there at some point, but no hurry. Okay, well, I think we're gonna end up using this trailer a little bit more to sell some wood chips at some point here because we have lots of them. We will have the ability to generate more of them, and I don't have any money. So those, that sort of combination right there says, sell some stuff. While I was in there talking to Lek, David called me. He's got a field that he needs fertilized. So we're going to grab oh great, all of our fertilizer is buried there. All right, well, let's grab our sprayer, and then we'll move some stuff so we can get we can get it full, and then we'll go do his yard, and then we'll probably take a quick look at our yards to see, now that we have precision farming in, I know that they were fertilized. What kind of parking job is that? Our yards were fertilized before precision farming, but I want to make sure that they're still good now. Let's just see if I can fill the sprayer up over the wood chipper. Oh, this thing's pretty much full anyways, but well, let's just see if I can grab a little bit more. So I've since been able to add some sprayers to the game, which would have probably been a little more appropriate for this this series, but we'll stick with what we have. I think this thing looks pretty cool, so I don't have any issues with it. It works well, but yeah, I'm using a sprayer over on the one tile challenge, which I think would have been good for this. There we go. Great. So anyways, let's look at our grass field here quickly just to see if it needs fertilizing, and then we'll go on to the contract. Because I don't believe I have put a second application into this field. Yeah, so I believe that means we need to fertilize, but it looks like the lime is okay. I think that's what I'm seeing here. So let's give it a shot. Let's bring up our little HUD there to show us what's going on. Can I get this in one pass? Oh, you know what? Let's do it from the other side. Because the other side has... I don't want to drive straight. I'm going to have to turn around anyways, I guess what I'm trying to say, because there's a field back here with crops in it. The only problem with purchasing that $20,000 potato field is that I don't have any immediate return. So it's not like I have, you know, some trees I can clear or anything, or like grass I can mow. It's just, you know, purchase it and then sit on it. So basically it's like stale money at that point, right? Dump liquid fertilizer. I don't want to do that. Alright, so I don't see the color of the map changing there. Alright, so if the map's not changing, either I'm not seeing something correctly or it doesn't need it. So we're going to move on to the contract. Yeah, that is a good little piece of land right there, but I don't know. We saw we had, like, you know, if we sold everything that we had in storage, we had like 90 grand sitting there. So it's not like we're in any bad shape. And a harvester, you know, if I don't make another dollar between now and when we need to harvest, you know, I have enough money in the sale of the wood chips if I sold them now to be able to purchase the harvester. So we could afford to purchase the harvester and that potato field. And I guess you know, there's no, and I guess really we get it's a down market too. So if we have an opportunity to buy something in a down market, that's the best time to buy it, right? Let's hope that I don't destroy the crops when we get into this field. I don't think I will, but we will just tiptoe into it, and we may need the Landini for this. We want field 109, and I think that's what this is. Yeah, field 109. Alright, so if I drive in here, am I destroying the crops? No, it's early enough that we should be okay. Okay, perfect. Just want to be careful. Obviously don't want to piss David off by destroying all of his crops. Alright, so that's good. Our field's looking good back there. I just wasn't able to get a contractor in to get rid of that shed. I noticed I have a pallet of lettuce sitting over there at our tiny little greenhouse. What have we been here, like 8 years on the map, and we're just finally seeing a pallet? I wonder if there's any water in that greenhouse. I should check that too. That's the problem with those tiny little, you know, inconsequential greenhouses. You kind of like forget about them. So we'll have to go check that out actually. Yeah, see this. So this is 109. Is 108. So I guess 108's the one right next to us. Is that right? See, these are great fields. I mean, we'd get a ton of crops off of these, and they're super easy to farm. I mean, you literally just go back and forth a couple times and you're done. The hill's not too bad. Like, yeah, these would be some good fields, but I just don't have all that money to be able to purchase these. Yeah, I don't know. Well, you know what I'm going to do? Let me get this sprayed, and then I'll have an idea. I got to just do a little bit of calculation to see whether or not we want to proceed with that potato field. All right, we got that contract done for David, and then sure enough, he called us with another one, so we just got that one done too. So another $2,500. Thanks, David. He does have a cultivation contract that he wants done, but I just don't know if we're gonna have time for it. So he said he'd hang on to it for us. It's 4 acres, almost 4 acres, and a little over $4,000, I think. But I just told him I got a couple things on the go here that I want to get done first. So if I've got time, I will definitely do his contract for him. But yeah, so thinking as I was driving back and forth there on that field that I left you guys at, I'm driving over to the woods field, the woods lot that was for sale, to go check out what the actual potential might be, because here's what I'm thinking. It's an I think it was like $82,000 piece of land. Now we're in a down market, so we're going to get about $8,000 off the price, which is good. So we'll get it in like the low 70s. I have basically $80,000 worth of wood chips that I can sell right now to drum up the cash to purchase that wood lot. And then really with a ton of work, I could get trees cleared off, and we could easily, I think, replenish our wood chip levels and potentially sell our way into being able to purchase that potato field. I've resigned to the fact that I would just plow it. There's no way that I'm going to end up harvesting those potatoes. I just can't see that happening. I've gone back through the mod hub and to see what really is available in regards to potato harvesters, and I can't see anything inexpensive. So feel free to chime in the comments and let me know if you know of a good way of harvesting potatoes, but I'm just not seeing it. Oh, those guys always freak me out. Every time we drive past those guys, I hear a little bit of yelling, and it just freaks me out. Especially because I've got headphones on, and it sounds like it's coming from outside my headphones. I think if we cut in between the next 2 fields, that'll get us into that wood lot. But anyways, yeah, because I mean, basically what I'm thinking, we don't have, so currently we don't have a lot of work that needs to be done. I have, a grass field that in that sort of where the toxic pond is. There's a grass field that's a good month away before it's ready to go. We have the other newer lot that we purchased and cleared out. It's got grass growing that isn't going to be ready yet. I don't have anything to plant. I don't have much going on, so I could really sacrifice an entire month of clearing out this lot. If I even get approval, we may have to just apply for it and then start the work in May. But it just depends on who we can get at the town office there and how lenient they are. If we do this, I would purchase a tree planter and I would purchase saplings to replant the property. Actually, just looking at the map, it's actually down here, so we'll just run over here anyways. But yeah, in order to get expedited approvals, I would definitely commit to replanting the entire area. Often there's a gravel line sort of mark off the property. Anyways, it's going to be around here somewhere. So yeah, look, we have a considerable amount of trees in here. Actually, I'm not even on the property yet. Hang on. There's the line. Okay, so we go from this pond. There's the line. So you can see everything in picture here over to here. So I am going to guess that we should be able to get at least 100,000 liters of wood chips off of these trees here, which in a good market is worth, a lot of money anyways. enough that we should be able to make up pretty much all of what we would have had to spend to get this. Because if let's say we get 100,000 liters, and at a high point, if we can wait until January, we're 50 grand, right? At a current, we're like 30 grand. So if we have to spend 80, we get 30 to 50 grand off of it. We're not replenishing everything we had to spend in order to get it, but I mean, I think we can afford it. A little bit of a commitment to get the tree planter, but I mean, let's say we do that, we plant the trees, and then we have ourselves an investment here over the next couple of years while the trees grow, and then we'll be able to reharvest the trees. I think, honestly, that's probably what we're going to do. I'm going to head back to the yard, grab the trailer, and I'm going to start making runs to sell the wood chips over at Derek's place there, and then we're going to make the purchase, and then I'm basically going to well, I'm going to call the town right away and let them know what I'm doing, so they can get going on the approval. They could send someone out, I guess, to check the place out. But yeah, and then what might happen then is that we'll find ourselves kind of late in May as I've managed to process everything. Now, in regards to planting, we're just going to kind of deal with what we get. I don't know exactly. I know there's some stuff that's available. Like right now, there's planting for everything, and if we're sort of going into May or even as late as June before we, for example, get our grass field down here mowed to the point where we want to put in a field, we may see ourselves kind of subject to whatever's available. I think you can plant canola late into the season, but then it takes a while before we're going to see that grow. Oh, on another note here, let's just jump over here. So Lek called me. He's got a cousin who has recently started a business, and he's in the market. So he's basically rehoming mature apple trees. He's a cider maker. He makes custom ciders. So Lek was wondering if I'd be interested in using this land, because I'd been talking about this toxic pond and what am I going to do with this land. Well, he suggested that maybe we put in an apple orchard. And then his cousin will help me set up basically like a juicing room. Basically, he'll help me put up a shed with some of the materials to make apple juice that I can then sell at the market. It might be something worthwhile, because we do have, I say we have downtime, but we managed to fill our time. But we could definitely find downtime to be able to maybe pick that up as a hobby slash income generator for us. So I will talk to him about, maybe he can give me a quote anyways on what it would cost to put in an apple orchard here. And then, because I can't imagine it's going to be cheap to rehome mature apple trees. And then what's the shed going to cost and everything. But anyways, well, that was just a side note. I almost forgot about that. He called me and we were chatting while I was doing that second contract there for David. But anyways, yeah, so this could be, we're May probably before we can even mow this grass, and then we'll want to put in the field or whatever and see what we're going to plant. But yeah, so that's I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go to town and see. I keep using that term, and for anybody that's not familiar with it may think I'm literally going to a town. I'm going to get busy and get those wood chips sold, get my application in to clear the lot of trees. And then I think we're going to reconvene after a ton of blood, sweat, tears, splinters, probably bug bites and everything else, and we'll see kind of what the outcome is. Ooh, I'm not looking forward to that, but anyways, we'll get her done. All right, good morning and welcome to May. We made it barely. Oh my God, what the hell? I was over here just admiring the growth. Yeah, the barley looks like it's coming along. It's a nice color. Again, I don't think I've really grown barley at all, or at least very much. So this looks good, I guess. It's a nice color. What do we got here? Any water left? We do have water left, and we have one pallet of lettuce just sitting here in the weeds. So we probably got to sell that lettuce at some point here. But anyways, oh man, we survived. What an absolute mission that was to get through the month of April. So I jammed or got somebody in the county office there to jam through the approval so we could get our woodlot there harvested. I was worried that if we continued into May waiting for the approval to cut all those trees down, then we were going to see the value of the wood chips just plummet, of which it probably is. I should just take a quick. Well, I'm not even going to look right now. All right, let's look. Yeah, so in one of the silos, I still have 18 liters. But yeah, this was upwards of $300, so that's a pretty big hit. So they were kind enough to put that through for me, but I did have to make some promises, of which we're going to have to address today. And one of those was that I would immediately plant trees. So I don't have anything to do that with, so we're going to have to get that today. I've already spoken with Lex, so he's going to hook us up. Yeah, okay, so we have this grass field and our grass field up in Millionaires Row. Those two are going to be ready to mow next month, but our grass field down at the far end should be ready to mow this month. So that's going to be fun. This canola is coming along, but nowhere near Yeah, no, we're not there yet. Yeah, so anyways, I want to get this trailer put away here, and we will go immediately take care of the planting, because they're going to be checking sometime around lunch to make sure that I'm either in the process of getting trees planted or already done. They're quite strict about that, but I don't mind. I mean, they really went out on a limb for me and made it happen, so I don't mind pressing a little bit on my end to make sure that I hold up my end of the deal, because I want to make sure that if I have a situation like that again, then I've got someone who'll hook me up, right? That's how it works. What is going on with the graphics right now? Look at that trailer. Does everything else look normal except for that trailer? All right, come have a look over here. Let's just check this field. Those silage bales are going to be more than ready to sell, but right now I can't worry about that. So before I got out of the first day of April, I did that cultivation contract that I was talking about for David, and I think it was like $3,600. Also, last minute came up a fertilizing contract that we took care of that I think was around $4,000. So by the time we got our wood chips sold, got the property purchased, and moved into the second day of April, we were sitting with about $24,000. When we finished that second day of April and now moved into May, we're at $96,000. So roughly by the time we paid for that property and then took our discount, our 10% drop, our 10%, because it was a down market, we pretty much got that amount of money back in selling wood chips. Now, had we been able to sit on the wood chips, we would have made a ton of money. But anyways, so in the end, what we were able to do is we sold all the wood chips we had. Then we used that money to purchase a piece of land. Then we sold all the wood that was on the land. And now we're sitting with $96,000. I guess that means we're up, right? I mean, I had 180,000 liters of wood chips put away anyway, so we had tons of money sitting around. I think I'm right where we started, but now I have a piece of land. All right, well, let's go get this tree planter. The nice thing too, I was talking to the real estate agent, and provided. So I mean, I paid like $82,000 or something for the land prior to the adjustment for the up or down market. So I should be able, provided I've got trees planted and there's some growth, if I was in a position where I needed to sell to make some money, I should be able to. He said nobody's going to buy it right now that you've gone and stripped the land. It's kind of it's a little landlocked, and it's surrounded by forest and everything, and it's just not worth the same. But provided there's an effort to regenerate the forest there, then we should have a good value there. I don't have any intention of doing that. I'm gonna plant trees, and then maybe we'll get to the point where we get to harvest them. But look at this guy in here. Wow. All right, so $21,000 later, we have the means to plant trees, and we have 120 saplings of their. I got the lodgepole pines. Seems to be the only thing you're ever gonna see on YouTube for people planting. Well, I'll just go with the lodgepole pines. Anyway, so let's go see if we can find a room for 120 saplings on that property that we've got there, and then we're going to go and mow our sort of. Oh, geez, I had to kind of abort that turn. Oof. Then we're going to go mow that land and get a field cut. So the reality of planting is that we don't have a lot of options, right? If you look at today, it's the first day of May. I'm not planting carrots. There is a planter for sale. We could plant corn. I'm kind of thinking that might not be a bad idea. There's also a header for sale. We could plant grass, of course. Moving down, there's some grain crops, or soybeans, sorghum, like that kind of stuff we can plant today. Or then we could just be patient and either plant wheat, possibly canola in the month of August. I'm thinking what we might end up doing is driving right past our field first. Let's do that. Yeah, so I'm thinking we'll get the field mowed. We'll probably get a field put in. Or, you know what, actually, no. So what we'll probably end up doing is planting canola, and then maybe, I think was that also barley again, and doing canola and barley one more time, which will enable us to get another cut off of our grass probably before we got to do anything. So I'm not going to be in a rush to plant anything immediately. So we'll probably get our field mowed, and then maybe cut, like expand the field and then plant grass, let that grow, and then go from there. I think that might be a smart idea. All right, there's the land we had bought. It's just nothing in here. It was pretty much just constant mayhem as I was chopping down trees and chipping the wood and getting it transported. So anyways, let's figure this out here. So I'm not making this into a tree farm like we did on Comlands. I'll probably try to go a tractor's width in between rows, I think. We'll see how many trees we can plant in each row here. So we'll get an idea how many we can plant in this entire area. I'm not even sure if I'm going straight. I mean, we could be a little wonky, I guess. In the end, it's going to be myself and a chainsaw in here chopping these things down, provided we don't get some opportunity to, go tour the world. Maybe purchase a farm somewhere else in the world, right? You never know. Alright, so if I use my tire track trick, then I should be able to run back down the field, line up my tires with the previous tracks, and then when I come back up, I'll be a tractor's width. If I could see the tracks. What the heck? Not easy. Yeah, I don't think that worked the way I wanted. Well, I'm not going to sweat it too much because this is literally just going to be a forest that we don't look at very much until one day we come back in here and cut down a bunch of trees. So we'll call this a good enough type scenario. We're getting close here. We're down to the last less than 20, I guess. What are we, 17 left to plant? And we had 120 of these things. So yeah, there'll be a substantial amount of trees in this small block of woods here, which hopefully we can hang on to and hand down to our grandkids one day. But anyways, as I was driving back and forth, it seems like every conversation starts like that. As I was driving back and forth, I was thinking that yes, indeed. So the lot we're going to go mow, the one that we're going to expand. I think definitely what we're going to do is mow it, and then we'll plant grass, which then we should see. So August and September, I think. Is that so? August, I think, is barley, and September is canola, or the other way around. So our fields will likely end up putting to grow over the winter. We'll go with canola and barley again. So that should work, right? Because it's May now, June, July, August. Yeah, I think that's the canola one. So we should be able to put stuff in then. And then next month, when it comes time to mow the other two fields that we have, if we replant that or just make sure that it's in good growing potential, then we should be able to get another cut off that before it's time to put seeds in the ground. So that works for me. And then, you know what, at some point maybe we could plan. I'd like to plant corn. I like the process of it. A corn dryer, those corn cribs might not be a bad idea here. I don't know whether that's something they do in Poland or not, but these are things we could perhaps do. They look like fun. But for now, we'll be happy that we got these trees in here. So we're going to hang on to this tree planter, obviously. I'm not going to just turn around and sell it right away, because my thought is that at some point we're going to have the opportunity to buy another tree field. And and obviously my intentions are going to be to replant it, reforest it or whatever. So that's good. So while I was driving, of course, I got a phone call from David. He has a field that he wants mowed, and his buddy's got a field that he wants fertilized. So that's not exactly fitting with what we want to do here, but especially because I only have one mower. So I think what we might end up doing is I'll mow our lot. David said that we could lean on his niece or nephew, I can't remember what he said, but so when we're done mowing our field, he said to let him know, because if I took the tractor and the mower over there, he could get them to meet me and they'll run the tractor to get that done. But at least they're using my equipment. So I'll just pay them and he'll still pay me. So that works. We've done that before. And then maybe what I can do is get them to go and fertilize the other field also. And I'll just use the Landini to mow. I don't know if I can use the Landini to put in a field though. Can I use the Landini to mow? Yeah, I think I can use the Landini to mow. If I can do that, then we'll use the Fiat here to then put the field in while we're doing the rest of the work. So yeah, so we got a little bit still here to do, at least for this episode, let alone the month of May. All right, but before we get too far here, let's take care of business and figure out what kind of market we're going to be in for the month of May. And man, I swear to God, I'm not doing this on purpose. So we're a down market again, thankfully. Just by chance, let's flip one more time. Just checking to see if it actually comes up heads ever. Yeah, okay, so it would eventually come up heads, but we're tails. All right, now let's figure out how many pieces of land we're going to have an opportunity to look at here. Only 2, it looks like. 2? Yeah, 2. All right, so now we're going to spin for those 2. And again, if we happen to spin for one that I already have, we'll just have to spin again. But the first of the 2 properties we're going to be able to purchase is going to be 246. I swear we've spun that. And the second and final one we'll be able to purchase is going to be 171. All right, by looking at these now, we'll know what, if anything, we're going to be doing with our $75,000 that, besides whatever else we're going to do with it. So 246 is not on the market for us. That's $360,000. That's a massive field. Looks like soybeans. Yeah, I mean, as great as that would be, that is not ours. That's how many acres is that? That's almost 15 acres. Okay, and 171, this one we definitely have seen before. And I think somebody even mentioned that this is their piece of land or their farm already. Somebody that watches this channel. Yeah, it's sunflowers. I have nothing to harvest that with. $36,600. Early stages of growth. Yeah, that's tempting, but that's if it was again something. So we did pass on that potato field, by the way. We didn't purchase field 82, but if it was something kind of in this immediate area, maybe. But we're kind of getting outside of our realm over here, so no, I'm gonna have to pass on that. So it looks like for the month of May, we won't actually be buying any land, so that's okay. That takes a little bit of pressure off, knowing that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the graphics, and I don't know whether we're gonna be able to mow effectively with this Landini, but we're gonna go find out. I figured before obviously we try to get the niece or nephew of David to try to run this thing, we'll run it ourselves. So let's get over to our land there and we'll put this mower down and see if it actually works. All right, let's see what we got here. So I know that this field is ready to go. Yeah, we are ready to harvest. And let's see what we got. Yeah, okay, so we're pulling the mower. That's a good sign. Yeah, it's kind of nice to be able to do something with this land. I mean, we did obviously harvest it for all of its trees, but so we have the potential to take more trees off here if we want. We still have the green light from the town. Oh, what else is going on? Oh, I was talking with guess who's back in town? Maria's sister. Maria was caught me the other day when I was at the store to let me know that her sister had been dating some guy, and anyways, she had kind of moved away for a little bit, and she's on her way back, and she was asking about me, but then Lek pulled me aside and said, "Be careful, man. Lock up your belongings, because apparently every time she ends up in a relationship, she ends up with everything." So he's like, "Man, she's a nice girl, but somehow it just seems to keep working out that way." So he was a little worried that all my hard work here, if I did start seeing Maria's sister, I may find myself moving back to Canada with my tail between my legs and no money. So, anyways, I like Lek quite a bit. He's doesn't really mix words. He tells it like it is. So, anyways, she'll be back in town, and apparently she's got an apartment over by the Lek and Maria's store. Actually, I think they live in the same building, but we may have to go over there for a beer one night with maybe a double date to keep it safe, and I'll leave my wallet at home. Wouldn't that be a horrible way to have to leave my life in Poland? A broken man, maybe just with my original Fiat Agri shipping me back to Canada. I did notice a southern Ontario, which Ontario is the province of Canada where I live, map in the works. Not my style, I don't think. It's actually, I think, based on the farming communities down in the area where a lot of the motocross races are. They have the best tracks in southern Ontario. Oh my God! They also have a different climate. I mean, they definitely get winter, but it stays warmer longer and gets warmer faster, I guess. Is that becomes summer sooner? Is that anyways? But so apparently this map is based on the farming down in that area. So, but no, I have no intention of leaving Poland for southern Ontario when that map comes out. I think it's large, squarish fields or whatever. Oh, you never know. I'll have to take a drive around, but yeah. So this is not me previewing what's going to happen. Me being cleaned out by Maria's conniving sister and leaving a bankrupted man to rebuild myself back in Canada. Although it does have a nice ring to it, doesn't it? We just planted 120 saplings that we're going to have to harvest at some point, right? So I will finish up the mowing here, and then we'll get this over to... I'll give David a call and let him know that we're coming over and to put my name down on his grass field, and then he can get his niece or nephew, whoever it is, to meet us there. Hopefully they'll give me a lift back so I don't have to walk back to town. But then we'll get a jump on baling this grass up here, and I guess we'll get it baled and get it wrapped, and then we'll throw the plow down. I never did get a quote on the trees there from Lex's cousin, the apple trees. So I don't think I'm going to plow up that side of the field right now. We'll probably just expand this side and then plant grass, and then if there is an opportunity with these apple trees to do something on this side, I don't even know if I can mow this grass. We're going to try it. Yeah, if there's an opportunity there, then great. We can put in some trees and kind of get going there. But if there isn't, we can always expand the field at a later date when it's time to put canola in, or whatever we put over here, anyways. And and then we'll. But at least I don't have to waste my time plowing it if we're just going to end up putting an orchard in here, for example, right? I guess I'm getting a little bit of grass over on this side. I didn't know if it was going to be worth it or not. So we're kind of mid to late part of the video here, but I will just make a quick comment about channel membership and the growth. Honestly, I think I have 8 people now who've decided to become members of the channel. Pretty cool. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. Definitely didn't have to, and I definitely gave you no reason to. So you must just want to support the channel, which I think is super cool. So thank you to the channel members. I will make a point to comment about that earlier on in episodes going forward. All right, yeah, I just had to call David. Yeah, sure enough, he's got another one. So we got 2 fields to mow. So that's good. We'll just use his he thinks it's his nephew, but he wasn't too sure who's going to meet us there. But yeah, we'll just get them to do the fields for us. All right, yeah. So there's David's niece. I can't remember her name, anyways, but she just wanted to get to work and not wasn't really willing to drive me back to town. So we may just go for a little jog here as I go back, and we'll grab the Fiat and the baler. Yeah, but anyways, I guess bottom line is thanks to the channel members for your token of appreciation and support. I truly appreciate that. I think that's pretty cool. Also, congratulations to our friend Farmer Mike, who I just noticed as I'm recording this on a Saturday evening. I noticed that sometime within the last hour and a bit, he posted that he hit 1,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool, man. that is an awesome feat. It feels like it's kind of one of those funny hills to have to climb, as you watch what doesn't really matter at the beginning because you're just making videos and having fun. Once you see the numbers start to kind of go up, it's like, oh man, how high is this going to go? And then the more people that interact with you and is really cool. And then really when you hit 1,000 subscribers, as long as you have the watch time, you're able to even monetize your channel where, they'll pay you a couple bucks a month. Not definitely not Lamborghini money, but maybe lamb chop money or something. All right, let's get this baler and go. I guess I don't have any twine, do I? I wonder if I have twine at our house. Anyways, no big deal. Hopefully we don't run out. It says we have 2. We've got like 1 and a bit rolls left anyway. So now that we're into this kind of season, we're actually. So I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to purchase a piece of land today, or in this month. But you know what? It's all good. At some point here, we're going to be able to purchase land that already has a crop in it that we're going to be able to harvest, which will be good. I mean, we're sitting with $75,000. We need a harvester. Really, I think the only thing we need is a harvester. Everything else seems to be pretty good. If I had the opportunity to replace the trailer we've been using for wood chips, I might, because we're only able to carry 10,000 liters in that. We have our other trailer, obviously, that has 12,000 liter capacity, but I can't. Oh my God, did I run over that? No. Are these weeds? I didn't run over this guy's crops. Was it David? Crap. It's David. Let's get out of here. Anyways, all right. Well, let's get this baled up. I got to keep an eye on the progress of David's niece. Wow, this thing has either I'm really bad at this or this thing is bad at picking up. Yeah, because I'm missing a bunch. Probably also I'm going around a corner here, so maybe that's not helping. But anyways, yeah, as we get into this season, hopefully maybe June we'll be able to, we'll get the word that we can purchase something and spend some of this hard-earned money. It will be nice to, Lex keeping an eye out for a used harvester. We're about a month or 2 away before we're going to need it. So we do have some expenditures. I probably shouldn't let this money burn a hole in my pocket. It's not burning a hole in my pocket, and it's not like I can go and purchase a piece of land if I wanted to now, because I could buy that one that's like $30,000, but it's a little outside of our neighborhood, and if I'm not going to end up with a corn header, which I hopefully will, then I'd have to buy something specifically just for that. But anyways, I think I've found myself in like ramble zone here, so I think here's what I'm going to do. I am going to get this field taken care of right over here. We're going to get the field expanded, and then I'm going to get the grass put into it. I'm going to do all of this before I see you guys the next time, and then by the next time I see you, I'll have hopefully had a quote from Lex, cousin or whatever that guy was. Actually, I don't even know if it's a guy, maybe it's a girl, but I'll hopefully have a quote on what it'll cost to put in an apple orchard here, and then we'll have an idea what we're going to do for the land on this side here, and then whatever that means, we'll do that together maybe. So it's possible we're going to meet up again in the next month, I think. So I'll get those contracts done. So what did I have? I had I may do some more contracts too, so there's no point in kind of guesstimating the money I'm going to have when I see you again, because it may be different than what I'm thinking right now. But anyways, yeah, totally rambling on right now. It's been good to get back onto this map and share with you some activity. Anyways, I'm kind of excited to see what kind of things happen throughout the summertime here. I could definitely binge play here, and I could do the same thing on the one tile challenge. So actually, and at the same time, I shifted gears a little bit on New Frontier. So I'm kind of excited to get over there too. So There's a lot of stuff going on. Anyways, all right. Well, on that note, guys, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I did this episode justice. But there's a lot of good things ahead, and I'm excited to see what they are and what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into. So, all right, I'm gonna shut up now and go. So I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.